Hey YouTube, today I'm going to show you how to etch some stuff. We're going to take a plain Jane tumbler from Walmart for $6 and turn it into a just plain cool etch tumbler. I'm going to put a little Glock logo on there like I did this one, except I'm going to do a better job this time. So first things first, we got to understand what we're doing here. We're using electrical current running from a cathode to an anode. Electrical current's going to take little pieces of metal on the cathode and transfer them to the anode and anodize it. Make sense? Yeah. Alright. So yeah, but instead of using a bath with salt water in it, like where we put both items in there, we're actually going to just turn this whole thing into a cathode and build a dam on it. That dam is going to be hot glue gunned down to the cup over the decal. Everything we don't want to be etched, we have to go ahead and masking tape off. What you're going to need is a cup. You're going to need some salt. I got non-iodized. That's what I've been using. That's what's been working. I got that in this little bowl here. And the reason why I mixed it in a bowl and not just directly in the dam is because any salt that's undissolved will etch faster. And that's kind of what you can see happen here. Etched a little too fast and burned a hole straight through the vacuum seal there. So I could fix that by just using some solder, but it'd be nice if we could just avoid that. So we're going to shoot for that. You're going to need a hot glue gun. I use a high temp because I prefer high temp. I think that one's from Harbor Freight. You're going to need a car battery charger. This right here is a car battery charger. It's just a cheap one from Walmart. You just need a DC source to keep the flow going in one direction. That'll help out a lot, okay? An AC source would just be plating and unplating rapidly. That can change the color of whatever you're working on, but it's not really what we're into today. So first things first, take your label off, and then I like to etch opposite of the stamped Ozark trail thing because I don't really like that a whole lot. So I'm going to turn it 180. There's adhesive there I took off with acetone. See that stuff back here, right? Then you can take a wire brush and just make sure there's nothing on there like a clear coat or anything. Once you got that done, you're going to find your sticker, which I have mine around here somewhere. Well, anyways, I'll find it, but it's just a die-cut Glock sticker. Oh, it's inside. Okay, so we're going to take that sticker, and that's just that black vinyl. There's no clear in between there because that would prevent it. This is going to act as a mask. So let's put that thing down. And we're just going to place that on there, on that clean, roughed up surface that we just created. Make sure you press it on real good there. If you're working with a real uneven surface like one of the wine glass tumblers or something like that, you're going to have to really be careful, make sure that's totally adhered all the way around. This one's pretty flat, so it shouldn't be a problem. You just peel off that transfer stuff. And wow, that looks cool, right? But we can etch it on there, and that'll be even cooler. So we're going to get some masking tape now. I think I'm about out of my thick stuff. And today I'm just going to go for just a kind of a plain Jane frame around there. Once again, you want to make sure that it's really adhered well. There's no air bubbles or gaps or little wrinkles, because that'll allow the electrolyte to leak out or to etch where you don't want it etching. If you want, like the other one there, I put kind of an irregular frame around it. I did that just literally by tearing the masking tape and then pressing it down. Gave it that irregular kind of interesting look to it. And you know, I might do that to this one today. Let's see. We'll see what it looks like when I start masking it up here. So yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of surface area to etch. So just to make things more interesting, we'll just kind of tear tape so it's got waves in it. Just apply that down. And you can layer this tape pretty well. You just have to make sure that you're really diligent about make sure all those edges are really firmly adhered. I didn't warm up my glue gun. You're going to need to get your glue gun warmed up. So I'm going to get that thing plugged in. I am going to do an irregular finish around here again. I think it looks kind of cool. It looks like it's got a like busting out of it or something. So I'm going to continue that around the edge, and then we'll fire it back up once I get my glue gun heated up. Okay, so I got that all masked up, and you can do it however your little heart wants to do it. You know, this is your project. So, like, take some ownership of it and the creative process. You just gotta do whatever you feel. You can use nail polish and put dabs of nail polish all around, or draw a design or something like that. Write your name on that sucker. Who cares? You know, it's your project. Do as you feel. Like Bob Ross says, make some happy little mistakes and just freaking just roll with it. It'll be good. All right. So this is gonna be our cathode, like I said. So our anode. What are we gonna do with that? Well, our negative is going to be hooked up to just some scrap junk you got laying around. Okay? And that's going to just sit inside of this dam on top of that cup. Okay? It's not going to touch the cup. You don't want actual metal-to-metal contact. It's going to cause arcing. That's how you arc weld, right? But it's going to take the steel off the cup, and it's going to follow electrical current, and it's going to come up and attach that steel onto this, or it's going to be floating around in the solution, which a lot of it's going to be just floating around in the solution, and we'll see that in a minute. But I've got just basic jumper cables here, so make sure they got good contacts on them, they aren't all corroded or anything like that. And I just got to turn to 6 volt. I found if I turn it 12 volt, this thing will kick on and off too much. If I just leave it at 6 volt, just kind of, it's happy. So, glue gun looks like it's getting hot, so I just use plastic from packaging for making this dam. You want to make sure that you got a real nice tight seal so you don't have any bubbles or anything like that. So just kind of lay down a bead of hot glue, kind of like you would silicone caulking or something. And it's okay if you dink it up a little bit. You can just get it warm again and redo it, or push comes to shove, just take the whole thing apart and start over from scratch. This is literally just plastic from a package that I cut into a strip and then formed into a round surface, or a little square box. I just nipped it with scissors to get it to the shape I wanted to fit the cup better. And we're going to test this before I put the electrolyte in there with just normal tap water first. So almost got that bead all the way around. I need a new glue stick, so let's shove that in there. Now, I know there's some professional etchers out there watching me do this that are going to think I'm a real dingbat, but this works pretty well, and actually this is pretty close to what they do. So if I'm dinking it up, or you know a better way of doing it, just tell me. Just put it down in the comments and I'll try to refine my process a little bit. This is a perpetual learning process here. We're just experimenting with a little bit of basic household chemistry today, and hopefully going to have a cool cup at the end of this. Gonna go back over. Glue sticks are cheap. So just like hammer it down there. Just make sure you don't got any little pinhole leaks or anything. And it's gotta take your time. I'm being sloppy for the video right now, but usually I take a little bit more time putting this stuff on there, so be a little bit fancier, but that'll do it. But essentially I'm gonna finish that up. A couple more passes of hot glue. I'll make sure my little seal here isn't leaking. Last time I had a little pinhole leak from there, so I'm going to seal that outside and in where that overlap is. Then it's got some wood blocks to prop it up. We'll hook the positive end on there because this is cathode. Cathode is going to be positive because cats got paws. Cat ions, cathodes, positive. Kitty cats, they got paws. So, positive, cat. Cathode, positive. Right? Alright. I'm glad you're tracking. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up real quick and I'll get this all set up. So we'll start that. I'm going to test this real quick to make sure it's not leaking in the sink. And then we'll add our electrolyte, which is just salt and water in there. And then we'll add that. And then we'll just give her 30 minutes so this thing turned on, plugged in the wall, and we'll have an etch class. It'll be that easy. Okay? Be right back. Alright, so I'm back. And I got my little seal all made. Had one little pinhole and got that taken care of. You just kind of hold the tip of the hot glue gun there, let it get warm, and then you can just kind of lay a new bead down. If you think of it like welding and you take your time, you'll get a lot better seal right off the get-go. Just lay down a nice little bead. Take your time, make sure it's good and consistent, and you don't have any little leaks. Okay? So, we're going to get this guy propped up just a little bit. So, she'll sit still. Now we're going to add our electrolyte to it. I'm just going to be careful not to pour the actual salt in there. I want the undissolved salt to stay inside of the bowl here. Alright. You get this guy all hooked up in there. Now this isn't rocket science. This is chemistry. So just nothing's got to be perfect. You just got to get yourself, I got just a wire, a washer, and some stuff that's kind of just suspended in there with some little pieces of wire. So you just want that submerged most of the way. Okay. Now I got our guy here. We got our positive and negative hooked up. And give it a little scrunch, just get through any coating on there. And we're going to plug her in, and you'll start bubbling. And that's how you know you're in business. Okay. So I'll get you zoomed in here so you can see that. You see that bubbling action? The Alka-Seltzer effect there? That's what we're looking for, okay? So, you can see it just bubbling away. Both the surface of the little guy itself there is bubbling. So our cathode is bubbling, and our anode is bubbling. One's releasing oxygen, one's releasing hydrogen. So you're not going to be huffing this and knocking yourself out or anything like that, but it is possibly a flame hazard. Okay, if you got a major leak, right now is your time to address that. So don't wait until it's too late. This water will continue to fizz like this, and it'll start turning brown and getting a gnarly gunk buildup down there on the bottom. That's okay, that's normal, that's just going to happen. If your water level starts getting low, you just fill her back up a little bit. I don't usually even add any extra salt. That water is more than salty enough as it is right now. So let's let that go for a little bit, and we'll check back in, say, 10 minutes. Alright, boys and girls, we're at 10 minutes, and I turned it off, and I'm going to take the anode out, and we're going to just do a field test to see that it's etched enough. You can use a stick or something if you're squeamish. I don't care. I know how to wash my hands. So I'm just going to reach in there and I'm going to feel for a ridge. I don't feel much of a ridge. It is starting to etch. I'm getting all that good gunk in there, and I stirred it all up, but I could feel that there wasn't much in there. So we're going to put the anode back in. Just like that. Maybe a little bit deeper. Let's see if we can get in there a little deeper. There we go. And then we're going to just plug that sucker back in. Okay, so we're kind of wrapping it up here. Something interesting. Here's a lighter, right? If you light it, you can hold a flame over it. You can see it gets brighter, right? Gets kind of like an orange, fuzzier flame to it. Yeah, it's kind of neat. That's just the oxygen and hydrogen cranking off there. And my charger started to click over, so unplug that. Let's see where we're at. So we'll go ahead and unplug that. We'll take out the anode. Unplug cathode line. We'll pour this into that bowl. I've been kind of spilling a little bit, but that's fine. Alright, so you see, let's see here. You see that there's all sorts of gunk built up on it. It's very easily wiped away. Now you want to feel it though, because you may or may not like how deeply etched it is. This one's not a super deep etch because I was using a 6 volt in about 35 minutes or so. The important part is once you remove that decal, you'll never get a decal to stick on exactly that surface ever again. So you want to make sure that you're pretty happy with it. You can always etch a little bit longer. You can't put a decal on and re-etch after you peel it off though. So let's see here. Got some paper towels. I'm just going to break this damn straight off. Pull up on it, pulls right off. Okay. Masking tape comes right off. When we wipe it, we can see it got down into that tape just a little bit there and put an etch mark there. But you can see that nice etched pitting all around. So you can leave your decal on there if you want to have a black accent until it falls off from washing it or whatever. Or you can find an edge on it. Peel it up. Alright. Gangbusters. That worked great. So you can see that was just a normal car decal, and that was preventing that from getting all gnarly. And my pocket knife's got brown goo on it because I did this last night to the other one. Now Gun Guy Gallery's got a Gun Guy mug. Check that out. So looks pretty cool. And we're able to take a $6 tumbler and turn it into a cooler tumbler than one of those Yeti ones or something. Had a few spots where the etching got down underneath the masking tape, and that might be because I was using cheap masking tape. But I don't care. I think it looks cool. I can sand those out a little bit if I want. All in all, looks pretty neat. I think that's a welded seam on the cup underneath there. That's why I etched a different color, but I couldn't see that when I did it earlier. Anyways, that's how you do that process. And now you got a cool $6 tumbler. So whenever you're doing something like this, always be a little bit careful, like safety and stuff. We're working with water, especially salty water, and electricity here. So that's conductive. Don't shock yourself. Like I said, you can use rubber gloves if you're worried about it. If you don't want to get the ooky rust on your fingers, that helps that too. You can use this to etch guns. So if you got an SBR or something, you want to etch it with your information, because that's one of the requirements, go ahead and you can etch it up this way. If you have a knife that you made or something, or a knife with no finish on it, you can etch some cool flames on it or whatever. So knock yourself out, have some fun with it. It's a pretty quick, non-intrusive way to kind of spend an afternoon. So it only took about 40 minutes from start to finish to do this video for you guys. Once again, I think it turned out pretty good. Let's get a look at that in there. Yeah, pretty cool. So when I'm drinking my coffee, I can remember, oh yeah, Glocks are a thing, and I enjoy those. So kind of neat. If you have any adhesive left on there, I just use acetone to wipe it off. But yeah, kind of cool process. It's an interesting thing to play around with. Hope you guys knock yourselves out with it. If you make something real cool, or you just do it way better than me, make a video, show me. Like, shoot me a little freaking video reply or something. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment. I'll be making more videos. Check them out.